All right, how's everybody doing? So this is a bit of a different video. It's kind of a different take on things. I've decided that with the game releasing in about 29 days now, 29 days-ish, I think it's a pretty safe bet that I can kind of point out some characters that I think are particularly strong. I was going to make an actual tier list, and then I spent about a week and a half on it, and I just eventually decided that there is so much stuff that we just don't know about this game that I can't give you like a first place, second place, third place character. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you generally where I think certain characters will be, like I don't want to spoil anything for the list, but like Bowser Jr., I can't help but feel like, this character got destroyed. But so mostly I'm just going to be pointing out characters that I think are, like, regardless of placing, I think will be strong or like will have a place in the meta at some point. Depending on how long this video is, I might break this up into 2 parts, but I'm not super certain. So I'm just gonna kind of get right into it. I want to start off this list by picking a character that was top tier for a long time, and I mean, honestly, I think it still is top tier, and that's Diddy Kong. I don't know why Nintendo did what they did when they were looking at Diddy Kong. I don't know why. I don't know what they were smoking. But this character actually got like a selection of buffs that are very odd. His bananas are better. They don't disappear when you hit they're like brawl bananas. He can put a banana at the ledge and you have to trip. In Smash 4, if you get up at the ledge and you get hit by the banana just, like, you trip and you go back to you fall back on the ledge. You just re-grab the ledge with invincibility. So it's not that good. In Ultimate, from what we've seen, you can literally force people to grab the ledge. You can literally force people to trip. And now that you can dash up any attack in this game, you can dash up F smash and punish whatever the heck they do. Unless there is a safe way to get back on stage while also grabbing the banana, which I don't think that exists anymore because you can't air dodge as easily. That's really, really, really good. His recovery, his weakest part, was completely unchanged. It wasn't like made any worse. Monkey Flip is still really good. His up B is still exploitable, but it's still also very powerful. I mean, peanuts are better. Like, they're just as good as before, but now if you shoot a peanut at a wall of like the stage or like the ledge or something like that, the peanut will bounce off and just kind of float there, and it'll be an active hitbox the whole time. So if they go too close to the ledge, they'll just get hit by the peanut and you just down air, and that is a free baby's first edge guard. Like, this character has a lot, and I've heard that he also has throw combos. I've heard that he also has like a bunch of stuff that he can get. Down tilt is still really good. I've seen his frame data is still really good. He can still auto cancel forward air and stuff like that. It's just he's just really good. Like, he's just ridiculous. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking, where it was like, let's just make this character better. Who cares? I don't know. I had my money on like best in the game on Diddy Kong. I know I mentioned before that I couldn't give like solid placings for every character. I can give a solid placement for Diddy. I think he's first. But that's just because of what I've seen. I wholeheartedly believe that we will get a day 1 patch that like fixes Diddy Kong. Like, I think there are things missing from this character that should be like actual problems with him. Like, I think down tilt is like intentional. I think it's supposed to be a pretty good move. But I think the banana at the ledge thing is like super not intentional. But yeah, I think there'll be a day 1 patch that nerfs this character, like before anybody even gets to play it. Next up is a character that people don't want me to talk about because nobody wants this character to be good, and that's Bayonetta. You'd have to try so hard to make Bayonetta a bad character. You'd have to completely redesign her. You'd have to remove like Bat Within. You'd have to change her like up B frame data. You'd have to like I can't even imagine. You'd probably like the only way to make Bayonetta bad is to make it so that she can only do one up B in midair. Like that's the only idea I have of like how to nerf this character and make her not still really strong. It's like, because the thing about Bayonetta is that her mix-up is incredibly safe, right? Because the mix-up is, I am going to up B you near the top of the stage. You've already taken a lot of damage. This is the up B that could lead to your death, because if you SDI wrong, and I guess you're SDI, you die. If I get the right reaction or read. It's hard to react to, but if you get the right read. But if Bayonetta doesn't get the read and she messes up, there is like no punish. Like immediately after. You still take a bunch of damage. The character just gets back. Like if you SDI high and Bayonetta predicts you to SDI low and does like the dab kick, downward afterburner kick. It's a dab kick. Yeah, but if she does that and then she lands on the ground, you're not punishing that. Like, you're still up in midair. You're still getting juggled. She's still an advantage. Like, that's how good this character is. Her mix-up is just incredibly safe. Like, compare that to a character in Smash 4 like Meta Knight, who gets kills off of his mix-up, which is like, am I going to dash attack and cross up, or am I going to dash grab, or am I going to dash attack and not cross up? And, like, that's super punishable. If you can predict which one is coming, whether they're going to dash attack or dash grab, like, that is super punishable. That is just, like... That could be a stock. That could, like, pretty easily be a stock. It's a bit stupid that he can up air, kill you, but at least, like, you can do something about it. And it's not, like, it's not as safe as Bayonetta's. Bayonetta, her neutral game is still very good, as strong as, like, just about any other top tier. Except now, like, her mix-up just might not be as super safe. Yeah, I mean, I just don't even know what they could possibly do to Bayonetta besides like completely reworking her kit to make her worse. Moving on, the other day one threat that I really expect to kind of, well, I don't think this character will take off as much as the other two, but I think Mario has a lot. The lack of being able to air dodge makes this character so scary. Like the fact that you can't air dodge through combos and stuff like that and then not get... Like if you're up in the air, right? Like let's say Mario does up throw and then he double jumps and up airs and you air dodge it, you still get punished. Mario's up air ends far quicker than any amount of air dodge lag. So you're still getting hit. Like if you air dodge a back air off stage, you just die. So you have to take these hits. Mario just got so much from the buffs to like ultimates, just like the buffs to edge guarding, the buffs to like mobility, stuff like that. This character got a lot. He will still get walled out very easily from like characters with range, like Marth or Cloud or whoever. But the other part of that is he still gets so much off of the openings. In fact, he gets more off of them now. Because, like, if you air dodge, he'll just up smash you. He doesn't even need to up air and kill you. He just up smash and you just die. But yeah, like, I just don't... I think Mario speaks for himself. You know what I mean? I think this is a super viable character, and I don't think he has that much going for him other than the stuff that I just listed, which means that likely he'll be very strong early in the game's lifespan and then fall off very slowly. Because like footstools aren't a thing anymore, you can tech those. So the viability of this character might not be quite as great. But I really think he'll do well, especially day one. These are your... I want to go to the day one tournament and I want to win. These are the characters you pick. Moving on from that though, these are like the three. There's pretty much no one else that I think will be super dominant on the first day the game comes out. But there are some other characters that are like pretty, they will be good. Like it's super hard to make these particular characters not good. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Sheik. Sheik frame data is like, in fact, I'm going to just list all the characters that are going to be good because of their frame data. It's Sheik, it's Fox, and it's ZSS. ZSS to a slightly less degree, but we'll talk about her after I'm done with these two. It's so hard to make these characters bad. Same thing with Bayonetta. Of course, you could, like, they have notable weaknesses. Fox is fairly light and big combo food and easy to edge guard. Sheik just cannot kill. But the only problem with that now is that she can edge guard. Edge guarding is better. You can't just air dodge forward air off stage and like get back to the ledge or whatever. Like bouncing fish and stuff like that is just made so much better from that. Her throw follow-ups and combos and stuff are still really good. Her options are still very fast and very good. Her recovery is still very hard to deal with. You can dash up F tilt, you can dash up down tilt. I think this character will definitely do very well. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if like after a week after the games comes out, she hits about like this level. Like Needles the same way is still really, really good. Just this character is just going to be very hard to deal with. With Fox, same way. He like being fast, having quick moves, and being able to kill is like you put them all together and you make a good character. Fox is going to be good. I'm shocked that people really believe that Fox is going to fall off. I have no explanation for that, because like people said that about Smash 4 when Smash 4 came out, that Fox was like not that good. This character's kind of meh. Do you see all these other characters? They're so much better. And the other characters were so much better, but over time Fox really took off. Stuff like forward air footstool, which doesn't exist in this game to my knowledge. It might, because it's not based on like a tech window or anything like that. You just footstool and they just die. But I don't know, it would just be so hard to make Fox a bad character. ZSS, I don't know. I keep hearing that, I know the nerfs that she got are pretty major. I heard that she got buffs, but I can't find them anywhere. Like I keep hearing from people that are like, oh, but she got all these buffs, and I can't find like a full definitive list of the buffs that she got. So I think that like I'm just like to clarify and like just as a general prediction for how this character is going to be. Her frame data is still very good. Jab and up tilt are still really fast and can like up tilt can kill. She doesn't get much off of grabs anymore, but she still gets just the same amount off of stray hits. Stuff like landing a back air or like a falling nair or any kind of nair actually. Like if you space nair, most characters can't do anything about that. It's just like big hitbox, handle the problem. The best answer I guess people could have is to like roll in and punish the landing, but that only works for nairs that are like landing nairs. And if she doesn't do that, then she just F smashes in the direction that you just rolled to, or down smashes, and you just die. Again, being able to do anything out of a run actually buffs ZSS's ground game a lot. Her ground game is fairly weak in Smash 4. So having a slightly better one helps a lot. But yeah, you still get stuff off falling up air. You can still up air, up B, but you can fall out of up B, but I mean, you can do that in Smash 4 and people still get killed off of it. This character is just going to be very good. She will be good. It's not easy to make her bad. Who else do we think should be in this consistently strong list? I think maybe if we were going to say something that is actually completely inarguable, I think Cloud is consistently strong. He was only in one game, I am aware. But again, like same way as Fox. He is fast, he has range, and he can kill. These are three things that will make a good character. Same thing with Marth and Lucina. In fact, I'm going to put Marth and Lucina on here too, not there. On here too, because they're the same reason. Being able to move quickly and have good range and have like combos and like good kill moves are going to make these three characters like super, super viable. Undeniably. I think Marth more so than Cloud, like Marth and Lucina more so than Cloud, because I think the nerfs that Cloud got actually hurt him a lot in terms of like limit camping and stuff like that, just not being as good. It just means that Cloud players will have to adapt to certain matchups more than sit back and charge a limit and do whatever you want. Which, I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, that's whatever. I imagine there are some people that are like, no, my Cloud. But honestly, I would much rather play a Cloud that requires a little extra thought. I didn't love Cloud. I played Cloud in Smash 4 for a little while. And I did pretty well, but the problem that I always had was that if I wanted to do well, I had to play super lame. And not just super lame, but super boring. Like, I'm okay with playing lame. I'll sit back and charge limit. But the problem is, I just press down B, and then I'm winning. If I'm playing Street Fighter, and I have to throw fireballs, I'm throwing fireballs. That's at least something. If I'm playing Cloud, I just have to down B, and then react to what they try to do, which is not a hard reaction against, like, the majority of the cast. I don't know. That's just how I feel about Cloud in Smash 4, and they nerfed that pretty solidly. But I mean, the character still has a good chunk of range. They nerfed his range on stuff like his Nair, but it's still really good. He can still get auto cancels. He still is like very fast. Same and like Marth and Lucina. Marth kind of camps in a different way. Marth and Lucina. Lucina's maybe a little bit more aggressive, but Marth, like, he still spaces. He is a more range based character in terms of spacing rather than some characters who space based on projectiles, stuff like that. I don't know. I just think these characters will be very good. Marth has always been good. Like, Cloud will be good. Just for different reasons than the other three. That's about it for the consistently strong list, though. Like, there's no other character that I particularly want to add. There's another character that I would put on this list, but I have another place that I want to put him in a little bit. For the hidden tech characters, I think the strongest of this group is going to be Isabelle. I think Isabelle has some ridiculous stuff. I think if any character on this list has the chance of being top 3, it's Isabelle. I think this character is so dumb. Like, the gyroid, the command grab, like, the combination of those two things means complete ledge dominance. And the problem is, with Diddy's banana, you can get rid of that, right? You can just patch it so that if you trip over the ledge, you grab the ledge. You can't patch out Isabelle's down B. It will always function the way it does in terms of, like, the proximity and the manual detonation and stuff like that. And the fact that you can just cover the whole ledge with both it and standing where they roll. Like here's a scenario, right? Put yourself in the mind of a character on the ledge against Isabelle. I plant the gyroid at the ledge. I stand where the distance of the ledge roll is. Like, if you roll up from the ledge, I stand where you would be. Where do you go? Like, if you jump from the ledge, like, even if the mine doesn't catch you, because your ledge jump is just, like, super fast or whatever, I can full hop forward air, and then I'll hit you into the gyroid, and then the gyroid will explode and send you flying. If you neutral get up, the gyroid will pick you up and explode and send you flying. If you try to get up attack, it'll be even worse, and you'll explode, and you'll go flying. And if you roll, I'll just F-smash you, and you'll die at, like, 60. Like, this character just has so much. And that's not exclusive to the ledge, either. Having the gyroid on the ground and just standing at a certain distance to it means that a lot of characters just have no answer. A lot of, like, mostly... I think Sonic is an example of characters that, like... He will have to full hop over that gyroid unless he can spin dash through it, and if he can spin dash through it, then you know exactly what he's going to do. He's just going to spin dash through the gyroid, stuff like that. Like, I think this character is very strong. As for the rest of the hidden tech, this is the character I was talking about before, and that's Snake. Snake is very strong. Snake is definitely going to be very strong. The way he functions, the way he works is just, like, very good. Big, huge hitboxes, like, not as large but large disjoints. They're really, really good. The only thing is, I think Snake needs to be explored in the context of this game. I leave it to the Snake players to know that, because I don't know much about Snake. But I think, like, this character definitely has some stuff that we just don't know of yet. You know, I was going to add a character to the honorable mentions list, and I just thought of this. I should probably put them in consistently strong, and that's Captain Falcon. I know he was terrible in Brawl, but, like, the Captain Falcon, having speed, again, speed, frame data, and power, same thing as Fox. Characters going to be good. Like, 100%. Especially with the buffs to mobility and being able to do anything out of dash. Like, this character is going to get a lot. It's going to make his mix-up very safe and very deadly. As for the rest of the hidden tech characters, I think... Oh, yeah, no, Mewtwo. I was looking for Mewtwo, and I just was, like, hovering over him. I think Mewtwo and I think Pokemon Trainer are both characters that need lab time. For different reasons. I think Mewtwo needs lab time because I think people need to figure out what are his follow-ups, what are his combos, what can he get off of X, Y, and Z. And, like, after that is discovered, and people, like, lab out their combos, like, if you can still do the footstool disable thing that you can do in Smash 4, then this character is going to shoot up in terms of viability, so long as you have the technical prowess to do so. Then, like, I think he'll take off. I think he's already pretty all right, but I think he will do a lot better within the engine of Smash Ultimate, even with the nerf to landing and the nerf to certain moves doing slightly less damage and his up throw being not as good of a kill throw. I think with time, I think Mewtwo will do very well. For Pokemon Trainer, he's 3 characters, which is good and bad. Like, you have to learn 3 characters, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But at the same time, he's a walking counterpick. Like, let's just look at Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard. I'm just going to line these 3 characters up. Squirtle is a small, super heavy rushdown, very good, very quick frame data character, right? Similar to, say, Pikachu is a character that I think he's very similar to. Ivysaur, very keep away, kind of slow, but very keep away. Has a lot of range with stuff like back air and stuff like his side B, the Razor Leaf. Just a very strong, very strong character. Charizard, big, heavy, easy to combo, but can kill you at like 4. Like, super good recovery, hard to challenge. So what we have here, we have a character that can recover that you can't really do much about. We have a character that can keep away that you have to deal with. And we have a character that can rush down. That's literally every part of Smash Bros. Completely handled. The only thing that none of these characters can do off the top of my head is land. And even then, the Pokemon Switch has invincibility. So if someone tries to hit you, instead of air dodging, you just down B. And then you punish that because it ends super quick. Like you know how like Bayonetta has a frame 1 air dodge with Bat Within? These characters have something better. Where they have Bat Within, except their character becomes completely different. And you have to play against them completely different. They are going to be very strong. Now I'm going to take them off the list because I'm done talking up the Pokemon Trainer. As for the rest of the hidden tech characters, I am going to put in like most of the Zelda cast. Specifically Zelda and Link. And where is Toon Link? And where is Young Link? I am speaking for all 3 of the Links when I talk about Link. They all have their own individual things. Bombs work differently for all of them. Toon Link has arrows that are... Or not Toon Link. Young Link has arrows that are very interesting. Toon Link's bombs can set up for a lot of different things. He can Z-drop now without having to do a Zair. Really good. Link has a completely different mechanic in terms of his bombs. And like a lot... His arrows work differently. You can pick them up. And like... Side B is like an actual... Like the boomerang is a regular boomerang now. And Zelda is just so different. There's no way we can know how strong this character is until the game's been out for like at least a month. Probably longer. Again, like I think this character just needs a little bit of time, and then she will probably do very well, but we'll see, you know, like there might be a couple of weaknesses. Lastly, on this list of hidden tech characters, I am going to throw on the Belmonts. To probably no one's shock, these are new characters, you know? A lot of people are like, wow, this frame data is not great, but this range is incredible. These projectiles are incredible. The spacing on this character, the capability that they have is super, super good. And yeah, I mean, that's true. But I think the important part to note is how counterplay will start to exist. I think people will find answers to a lot of the Belmont's projectiles and a lot of the Belmont spacing tools. And the way that they will have to evolve is using them in combination to create certain setups. Over time, I think the Belmonts are going to take off, but at the start of the game, I think there is maybe going to be 1 or 2 things about these characters that are just going to it's just gonna ruin him. Stuff like recovery, stuff like frame data, and like the lack of combo breakers. I think it's gonna mess him up. So yeah, no, that's pretty much the whole hidden tech cast. These are the characters that I think need a little bit of time to develop in terms of becoming particularly strong. As for honorable mentions, this is basically a list of all the characters that I know people are talking about and I know people think are very strong, but I also think, one or two things about them might not be where they need to be. And then it's also a list of characters that, were strong and were very strong, but got so heavily nerfed that I have no idea where they're going to be. The first character I'm going to throw on this list because, everybody is talking about him ever since it was a big major tournament that was won, and that's Roy. And I am going to put Chrom here too, because this character is just as interesting. I have I am very skeptical of Roy's viability, because, again, I talked about this in my Roy video, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in this one. Roy's strengths are very, 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 highlighted in this game. They're very important. Stuff like mobility, stuff like frame data. Frame data has been made better. Stuff like just sheer strength. It's just Roy has all of it. His combo game, it really benefits from the engine of Ultimate. But his weaknesses, which are recovery, his weaknesses, which are getting out of disadvantage, are still very, very, very exploitable, if not more so, specifically with recovery. If Roy is off stage, right? Before, people could edgeguard him by going off and edgeguarding him, because he didn't have that hard of a time getting back on the ledge. He just had a hard time coming back from deep. But ledge snaps have been nerfed, and most characters, because you can't air dodge and stuff like that, most characters can just completely ruin Roy off stage. So I ask the people, what is it worth it? To have a character that is so super exploitable off stage in a way, I know people will be like, well, Captain Falcon is the same way, super rush down. But the thing about Falcon is that his frame data is better. His jab and his up air and his combo game are just as strong, if not stronger, than Roy. So I'm just a little skeptical. I don't think he's top 15. I think if there is maybe some stuff in terms of weak hit setups that we haven't learned yet, I could see him being top 20, but I think this character will fall off. For Chrom, Chrom is a bit of an interesting case, and I'm going to go into detail about Chrom. I don't know how long this particular moment's going to last, this particular speech is going to last, but the thing about Chrom is that he's like a super Roy. The things that Roy does, Chrom generally does better. Stuff like jab forward air, stuff like just combo game in general and neutral game in general is just going to be so, so good on Chrom, especially compared to Roy. Stuff like an auto cancel forward air and things like that. Being able to interrupt forward air and double jump out of it. Having the ability to space Roy's normals is really, really good. Especially dash up down tilt, dash up jab, things like that. But I mentioned before that Roy is very exploitable off stage. Chrom is the same way, if not more so, with one or two possible caveats to that particular statement. With Roy, if you go off stage and mess up the edge guard, he just makes it back. You might get stage spiked or whatever, but you can tech that, especially now where it's easy to tech that. Chrom has a couple of very weird things going on with his up B. Number one is you can do the Ike up B spike if you grab you can grab the ledge and they go flying downward, and that's just a stock because that spike is very powerful. So if you mess up edgeguarding Chrom, you might just be dead. You might just be completely gone. Well, that's okay, but it's pretty easy to deal with Chrom's up B in terms of having a disjoint and things like that. Yeah. However, there is another part of Chrom's up B that nobody's talked about, but that's because I don't think anybody's really looked into this, because who would expect this to be the case? There is a clip in the Spain Invitational where Chrom does up B on a villager that is off stage. He hits the villager off stage with his up B, and the villager dies first. The villager that was off stage trying to edgeguard Crom got caught by Crom's up B. Crom and villager are both going down, and villager died first. That might make this character the stupidest character in the whole game, because you can combo into that up B. You can do forward air up B, and that just works because both forward air, you can do forward air. They're both frame 9. Up B is also frame 9, and the hitbox is bigger. So forward air up B off stage. If Crom doesn't die first, that's a free stock. That's a free game. That's like at any percent, if you get forward air up B off stage, they just die. Like that works at 0. If this is a thing that exists, Crom will be better than Roy, undeniably. Like even if he's exploitable off stage, I'll take that for literal free games. But yeah, I mean, that's Crom. The other thing is that if Roy's weak hits, again, I mentioned before, if Roy's weak hits can actually set up for certain kills, then I think Crom will be worse because then he won't have an easy time setting things up. It's just, but being able to space Roy's normals are just so good. Being able to dash up jab and be able to space it is just such a nice tool to have. And I mentioned before that, like, Roy kind of struggles with disadvantage. Landing isn't necessarily much of a problem for Roy, but it will not even be close to a problem with Crom, because now you can space Roy's back air, which was already a very, very good landing tool because the shield stun was very strong. It could kill, and now it kills earlier, and Crom can space his. Like the whole sword length is usable now. This character is. He could be anywhere from E tier to A tier. That's really where I think Crom is right now. And we need to wait till the game comes out to know. I'm excited. I'm probably most excited to play this character over just about anyone else, honestly. But yeah, that's Crom. Keeping with the theme of sword characters that have exploitable up Bs, where is everyone's favorite? Where'd he go? I lost him. There he is, Ike. Ike is... He got some of the biggest buffs in this whole game. His airspeed is better. His up air got changed to be like a little bit more of a juggle tool and a little bit less of an air dodge buster, which is fine because air dodging is so bad in this game. It doesn't matter if he has an air dodge buster or not. His mobility is incredible. It's so much better. His auto cancel windows are like actually a thing now. His frame data in terms of landing have been buffed dramatically. I think if Ike could, I don't know what it is exactly that would push Ike over the ledge. If he had some sort of kill confirm out of, say, a throw and also a kill confirm out of, say, like falling nair, where you could say either falling nair or tomahawk grab, and that's just a 50-50, that would be, I mean, kind of hard to react to. It wouldn't be the hardest thing. But yeah, like falling nair or up throw forward air or something like that, or up throw up air and get a kill. Or maybe down throw, I don't know. I heard up throw is kind of different. It's just, like, I think the problem that Ike will have is consistent kills. He will kill. This is easy. This is something Ike will be able to do, especially with the buffs to edge guarding, with, like, his moves, like, frame data being slightly better. His power is still just as good. I think what he needs is consistent kill options. Which, I mean, we need to wait till the game comes out to know. Like, that, the game needs to be out so that we can fully analyze the tool set that Ike has and whether or not he actually does have access to something that is like a 50-50 mix-up to death. If that's what he has, this is a top 15 character. Just don't even kid yourself. This is a super strong character. But if he doesn't, then that might be ouchies. Next up is the Spaceys. The other two Spaceys is Wolf and Falco. Wolf more so than Falco to me, because I don't have faith in Falco anymore. I think Falco needs lasers to be good, and he doesn't have lasers, and so I don't know how good he will be. I think he will be mid-tier at best. But that's besides the point, because now we're going to talk about Wolf. Wolf has a lot of very good things. His back air got actually super nerfed, but it was ridiculous in Brawl. It was like top 10 moves in Brawl, I really think. But then again, if you really take top 10 moves in Brawl, I think the top 7 are just Meta Knight moves. But we'll get to, like, that's not what we're talking about right now. But a lot of his stuff was buffed. His recovery is slightly better. You can't edge hog him, so he'll have an easier time getting back to the stage, theoretically. His projectile is very good. It's like fairly slow. It has a disjoint on the startup, so people can't run in while you're in the middle of doing it, and it like auto spaces itself. You can B reverse and wave bounce with it to help with mobility. His dash speed is kind of meh, but it's better than Falco's, so it's like good enough. Yeah, I think the only thing, again, that like a similar theme to Ike, I think the thing that Wolf will struggle with is like consistent kills. Whether or not he can set up for kills in different ways is super up in the air. Pun absolutely intended, because I mean it might involve up air. But yeah, like it's just like this is a character that needs time to develop. He's not so much a hidden tech character because he doesn't have as much obvious strengths that say someone like Isabel does, where it's like, okay, but Gyroid is clearly very strong. Like Fishing Rod is clearly very strong. We already know that Villager's frame data and stuff like that is very, very good, and she just has basically all of it. Wolf is a very unique and original character, you know what I mean? So we'll have to figure that out. Lastly, in terms of like the last group of character concepts that I think are important to note with the honorable mentions is the big bodies. I'm going to start with Ganon. We're going to put K-Rool. We're going to put Ridley. We're going to put DK. We're going to put Bowser. Just like all the heavies. All of them. In fact, I'll put Incineroar on here too, because I hear he's heavy too. The thing about all these characters is that they are big bodies and they are pretty slow, but they are made much faster by the mechanics of Ultimate, and they get so much off of it. Like, I'm just gonna run through all the different things. Like DK, just go watch Tweak. Just go watch the Tweak DK videos. He does some crazy stuff in terms of like cargo back throw and up throw and things like that. Different follow-ups from the ground, landing down B, things like that. Ridley is in an interesting spot because I think the thing that people are missing with this character, that people are like, well, his frame data is kind of meh, and he has a good bit of range, but I don't know what his follow-ups are on some of his stuff. I don't know how he get kills, and that's fair. I think the thing people are missing is tech chases. If Ridley has any kind of consistent ways to force a tech chase on a platform, if you get that tech chase, you just down B, and then that's like 60%. Easy, off of one tech chase. And then the other part of that is it forces a crumple, which means they have to get up again, which means if you read their get up, they die. This is a character, like you think getting 2 grabs with DK and Smash 4 and getting Ding Dong and killing someone is bad? This character is going to kill people like that. It's not even going to require that much skill. It's just like, oh, you're on a platform? Okay, I'm going to catch you with down B once, and then you're just going to die. Like, that's just game. You're never in a lead, it seems to me, against Ridley, which is very, very, very important and actually very tempting for me. I'm super interested in this character, too. K-Rool. This character has so much. He has a projectile that is, like, pretty strong. That's not the crown. The musket, the blunderbuss. I think that move is very, very good. He has the like belly super armor thing that is pretty hit and miss in terms of like whether or not it's actually viable. I don't know enough about how it works, and nobody really does besides like Nintendo to be able to tell how good this character is. His up B seems very, very hard to deal with in terms of like characters that don't have super big disjoints. He just seems to have a lot. This is a character that seems to have a lot. His down throw can ground people, so you can get good follow-ups out of that. His up smash has a very weird hitbox in terms of like going back up and then having a second one on the way down and then a third one on the landing. It's a very interesting character. Ganon. Everything about Ganon is better except Ganon side. And so people are like, well, this character's trash because he doesn't have Ganon side. But what people don't understand is that, like, very similar... He seems like a little bit more of a reasonable Ridley in terms of Ridley's down B just puts on 60 and you just easy money. If Ganon does side B, that is a tech chase. You have to get tech chase there. You have to get up in a certain way. If Ganon reads that or reacts to it and he F smashes you, you take 31% at the least. Like... I don't know how much damage side B itself does, but I would not be shocked if that adds up to about 50% off of one tech chase. And he can like dash up down. He can dash up down tilt. His dash speed is still pretty good. He has auto cancel windows that are like slightly bigger. His landing lag is better. His up air is still like pretty strong. It got nerfed, but it's still like pretty strong. This character has a lot. Like he has a lot. His down smash is really good now. Like it's a good disjoint. He got his up smash changed, but it's a huge disjoint. Again, like if you bait out an air dodge, they just die. They just get hit by that. Very, very good to have. Like very, very good to have. I think this is a character that I think he's similar to Ridley. I think he's going to have like one or two things that's going to make this character just super, super, super like Geef similar. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much the best example I have. If you play against a grappler in a standard fighting game, these characters are going to be very similar to that. They have their own way of pushing a super deadly mix-up. But speaking of grapplers, let's just talk about Incineroar for a bit. His frame data is very good. It's much better than I would have expected. Lariat also, the neutral B, nobody talks about this. It can go through projectiles. Like it's a Geef Lariat. It's exactly the same if you've played Street Fighter. You can Lariat through projectiles. It beats most normals because it seems to have like an actual invincibility on it. It just seems very, very strong, which means you can't get needle camped. Well, actually, you might be able to get needle camped. Like if Sheik throws needles and you Lariat through it, if you can't interrupt Lariat fast enough, you might just get hit with another thing of needles, or like dash up down tilt or something like that. But yeah, like you can't really projectile camp him super easily. I think his counter, Revenge, is actually the dumbest thing on the planet. His throws are very strong. His side B seems like very powerful. The only situation where I think this character can really struggle is range, like in terms of like long disjoints, because I don't know how he gets in other than just throwing at a counter, which I mean that can be baited out. But yeah, counter is like frame 3 though, so maybe it's kind of hard to deal. It's still kind of hard to deal with. But yeah, like he's very powerful and he's very powerful and he's weirdly fast frame data wise. He is but he's slow as a character. He's going to have a hard time getting in. That being said, I think the perspective that I have on Incineroar is that there are going to be one or two, like Incineroar is going to be the Ike of this game. Like Smash 4 Ike. There are going to be one or two people that just dominate with that character and they're just like god slayers. And everybody else who plays this character is just going to be like, okay. Like they're just going to be pretty all right. That's my expectation. Who knows? Maybe Incineroar has some really stupid thing off of grabs or something like that. Or maybe he has some mobility option that I'm just not realizing. Bowser. Bowser is probably, in my mind, the current weakest of the super heavyweights. He has a lot. His throws are still very, like, pretty good. In fact, he feels like a little bit of a more all-around Incineroar, I think, if I had to, like, base something off of it. His side B command grab is, like, really strong still. It has a better animation now. It looks really good. You can't land with it anymore because it still has, it actually has landing lag now. Like, you have to go through the full animation. Yeah, I mean, Bowser is a character that might need a little bit of time to get better, but who knows? Maybe he actually has something. But yeah, that's like pretty much the whole rest of the archetype list. I know there are probably characters that I'm forgetting, but just like as a whole, the thing that I would like to make clear is that if your character isn't on this list, that doesn't mean I think your character is bad or that I think your character doesn't have anywhere that he can go. I just think that maybe that it's either A, because I think that character has been talked about enough, or that character has like very obvious strength that's like, okay, yeah, they will be good, despite people trying to be like, okay, but what about this and what about this? Or like I just don't know. Like there's a lot of characters in this game. I might just straight up not know about a certain character's strengths. But yeah, I could make a follow-up on this video, like another selection of characters that I think will be very, very strong. But these are the ones that I wanted to talk about, like in terms of strength and whatnot. But yeah, thank you for watching. Game's out in a little less than 30 days now. So, I mean, we'll see how much I actually know, like whether or not I actually know what I'm talking about. kind of, I think I do. I think this makes sense. I think this all kind of adds up. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.